We got to get going here. Small businessman who lives in West Islip, Suffolk County on Long Island, Steve Flanagan.
Long Island. We have bums there too. I agree with everything that was said here today and everything that was just said. And I think everybody here agrees with it. But there's a problem. How do we make it happen?
Join together.
Vote the bums out.
Yeah, how do you vote the bums out? What's the process? Who understands? How do you go and take control of the electoral process? How do you take control of these people? It's called effective political action. Everybody's here today and we're in agreement in what our goals are. We know what's wrong with government. We know what the problems are, and we know who the bad guys are. But there's a process in this country, the electoral process, that we have to use to throw the bums out. We all agree that we have to throw them out. But there's a process in America, the democratic process, that we have to follow to make it happen. The people who are here today are the only ones that can make it happen. We're at the grassroots. It was said by a few earlier speakers today, we can't just come here today and demand change and say we want change and be loud. We have to go back and we have to act locally so that we have a national impact. In our neck of the woods, we've identified a couple of the bums. And I hate to use that term because we've gotten that bad. All right? But they're incumbents. These have the strength of incumbency. The way you defeat an incumbent is to create negatives on that incumbent. Nobody knows how your local congressman votes. Nobody knows. You don't know, and you don't know, and you don't know. It's your fault you don't know, but you're busy and you're working and all that. What we have to do if we're going to be effective in political action is to start creating negatives on these people a year and a half before the elections. We have a congressman in our district that our group, the Conservative Society for Action, is targeting for removal from office. We're going to start with a proclamation from we the people. And we're going to pound it with a nail on his door and say, this is what we demand. But we're not going to stop there. That's so he knows where we're coming from. The way we're going to defeat him is we're going to hang negatives around his neck. How many of you people like Nancy Pelosi? How many of you are aware that probably 80% of the Congress people that represent you are rubber stamps for Nancy Pelosi? It's a fact. In my district, we have 5 Congress people that are rubber stamps for Nancy Pelosi. Nobody knows it. These people go to their local civic associations, they go to the Boy Scouts, they go to the Girl Scouts and the Little League games. And what do? I'm taking care of you. I'm a great guy. I got some pork coming into the district. Right? That's what we hear from these people. We have a town hall meeting coming up with our local bum, all right? He's going to stock the room. There's room for 100 people. It's his own supporters. He'll have his own cameras. He'll have the press there. It's going to be a big, cheerful event. But guess what? There's a big surprise coming. The Conservative Society for Action and 6 other civic groups on Long Island are going to be there with as many people as are here today at his event. We are going to show up there and we are going to wrap Nancy Pelosi around his neck. In the media era that we have today, you've got the 30-second soundbite. You've got the internet, you've got YouTubes, you got this kind of thing. You don't have time to make a detailed case of these people, of their records. It takes too long. But everybody knows Nancy Pelosi's a bad person. Everybody doesn't like Nancy Pelosi. Well, not everybody. I guess 16% of the people do. But that's not enough to win. What we're going to do is we're going to take that local congressman and we're going to mention his name, Nancy Pelosi's name, and Barney Frank, and let the people know that there's no difference. We're going to be, our local congressman that I'm talking about is Tim Bishop. You guys maybe don't know him, all right? But we're going to go to that event with his people there and the press there and everybody else there, all right? And we are going to start a nice and little simple chant. Bishop, Pelosi, Barney Frank, no difference. How long does it take somebody to hear that? And we're going to say it 1,000 times. And we're going to say it 10,000 times over the next 12 months. We have the same thing as far as the state senate is concerned. We all know what the state senate is. Guess what? 31-31 is good, because a weak government is a good government as far as I'm concerned. I hope this bottleneck forever. But we have some people, we have a state senator down there we want to remove, and we're going to wrap Patterson around his neck, and Sheldon Silver around his neck. All right? There are ways that we can be effective and take advantage of the current media that we have. The 30-second soundbite. I don't have time to go through their individual records, but we know they're bad. Everybody knows Pelosi, people know Patterson, people know Sheldon Silver. If you have one of those people out there that represent you, that are a rubber stamp for what's wrong with this country, you need to go to those people and tell everybody you know through effective political action and showing up at their doors, posting proclamations on their door, and getting the press to sit there and listen to you. My guy who represents me is a rubber stamp for freaking Nancy Pelosi. He's got to go. We need to repeat that process all over New York State and all over the country. This organization today, how many groups do we have? 23 groups here represented? We're probably covering all the senatorial districts and the congressional districts combined. If we go back now to our home districts and we start to take this kind of action that's simple, defined, and that can easily be put in a soundbite to the media, we can be effective by taking this government back. We don't necessarily have to abolish government, which isn't a bad idea, but guess what? We can take it back and we can control it and have that government work for us. I need everybody here, everybody who's here today has to vow to go back to your local communities and work on your local people. It is think locally, acting globally. My group will take care of our two bums down where we are. We need every one of you to take care of a couple of bums around you. And guess what? We'll take our state and our country back.